Well, hello. You got it. It's okay. What is wrong with you? Okay.
Never at ease, I don't know a limit. Chasing a dream, I don't know what sleep is. I got a queen, she lit me the evening. She ripe like a peach and she snapped me the snippet. We well overdue for that link up in person. Text me to fall through a murder, she wrote it. Still up with courage, you're doing a service. Pull up to the
It's Sharday Nicole. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Finally, I was been supposed to start this. I don't know why it feels like I'm literally talking to you guys. Feels like a first date, kind of nervous. So I have me a little cocktail. What I'm gonna talk to you about today is my experience as a first year law student. It was very intense and very hard. So I just wanted to start from the beginning so you guys would get a view on how it really is in law school, because listen, there are some things they just don't tell you. So I can start off with my experience. The LSAT. I did not do good on the LSAT at all. So I don't want anybody to be discouraged when they see the LSAT scores. What had happened was I didn't study as I was supposed to, because law school is a whole nother beast that you have to attack, and I didn't really realize that. So when I started taking the LSAT, I actually took it twice. Both times it was a no-go for me. So I actually had less than a 150. I was like in the 140s. So I don't want anybody to get discouraged if they're around that. Actually, the first time I got like lower than 140. Let's just make that clear. So, but I did have great grades. I had a good GPA. I had a 3.62 GPA. So it kind of saved me. So either way, yes, law schools weigh heavily on your LSAT grades. However, it's not the end all be all. So if I were you, I would still apply for whatever schools that you can, because listen, you got to get in where you fit in. So if you can get into law school, go ahead, sis. You just need the door to be open. So that was my experience with the LSAT. How I studied for the LSAT, I took Kaplan classes. I actually believe they have a first timer discount thing that goes down. If I were you, I would call them just to see if you can get a discount. That would be great. I definitely did that because money's a little tight. And they're amazing. Actually, they have like a higher score guarantee thing. So if you feel like you didn't do good the first time, you can actually take the classes again for free, or for a smaller fee than you paid in the beginning. So that's great. So if you are taking the LSAT, I really recommend Kaplan. So the application process, I say don't let anybody tell you what schools to apply for. I applied for all of the schools that I wanted to apply for, that were kind of realistic, if you will, because I'm not about to be applying to Fordham University and my LSAT grades are not good. However, I really wanted to go to Howard, like with all my heart, but that didn't work out for me. So I actually ended up getting put on the wait list for 2 schools, and I was actually waitlisted for Howard first, and they still didn't accept me. But I was waitlisted for 2 schools, and then Western Cooley Law School in Michigan accepted me, and I was like, hey, let me just go. You know, my best friend lives in Michigan, she lives in Detroit, so why not just go ahead and take that leap of faith? Why not? This is a sign from the Lord up above that I just need to go. So I went, and it's a smaller school. I would actually recommend smaller schools because my school is good in the way that it really pays attention to their students. We have the professors' phone numbers. Like, this is really personal. So I would definitely look into smaller schools. It's not all about the name. Honestly, I'm a firm believer in, if you want something, you're gonna get it regardless. No one can put you in a box. Regardless of what school you go to, regardless of anything, you're gonna get there if you put in that work, right? So boom, started at this school. Listen to what I say, guys. Law school is a whole nother ball game. Everything that you learn in undergrad does not mean anything when you get to law school, I'm telling you. Unless you were like pre-law or something. I was in pre-law. I went to Johnson & Wales in Miami. Nobody taught me about nothing like this. So basically, I was a fish in a huge pond. Like, it was very, 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 very different for me. Got in there. Orientation, it is very easy to be intimidated by other students that have their lives together and stuff like that. So when you come in there and you're not all the way together, it's definitely a little bit intimidating. I'm actually going to be an entertainment attorney, so I was the only one there that wanted to be an entertainment attorney. So I already saw that it was going to be a little bit harder for me to maneuver. So I come into orientation and I'm just like looking at everybody, terrified, literally scared out of my ass, because I'm just like, everybody just looks so put together. Listen, everybody puts on this nice face and facade like they got their shit together, but when you actually start talking to people, you'll learn that they're in the same boat as you, and actually help you be more at ease. That's what I wish for everybody that is going into law school while we're still quarantining and it's still COVID. It's very hard to interact with people, so when you're in class, that's another story. So it's real nice to interact with actual human beings physically, face to face, because it kind of puts you at ease in a situation that you know nothing about. So good luck to y'all. I don't know what I would have did if I didn't have my girls. So yeah, law school classes. Like I said earlier in the video, it is very, 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 very different than undergrad. Like, you literally have to change all of your habits. All of them. And it took me a while to really gain traction in that, really, because it really is a lifestyle change. You have to do so many things. You have to like prepare your family members, because even though people say that law school is hard, only the people that go through law school understand truly how hard it is, man. This is stressful, but if you have a bigger goal, it's worth it in the end. I would never tell anybody that it's not worth it, but it's hard. It's so hard. So, like I said, you have to change your whole mindset. So what I did, and this is not for everybody, but what I did and what I started doing is basically, so they have this thing in law school called outlining, right? And they never give you the outline for the outline, so you're really just making it on your own. You got to really pay attention in class and see what are the important aspects that you need to put into your outline. But I'm sorry, I'm traumatized. But yeah, they have outlining. So what I would do while we're in class, I would correct my outline and anything that I missed in my reading. So before you, and I literally skipped the whole step. So before you go to class, you have cases to brief, okay? And when I tell you cases to brief, it's probably like anywhere from like 7, if your professor is real nice, 7 to like 15 cases off rip every single class. And you know, some people take more than 4 classes, like full-time students. I couldn't be full-time. I actually had to work to pay. I support myself, so I had to work while I was in my first year of law school, and it is extremely hard. So before the classes, you have to brief these cases. So it's like 7 to 15 cases for each class. Each class has its own cases. I started off with 2 classes, but we also had a introduction to law, if you will, class. So, and it really helped us with like our torts and our contracts, because that's what we had to take in our first year. It was like all put together. So that was a great class, but it didn't have a grade, but it was still the same damn workload. So it was kind of annoying, but very helpful at the same time. That's law school. But yes, you have to brief these cases. So what I do is, where is it? Do I have it here? So I bought a planner from Office Depot. And if you can see right there, I have like a whiteboard in my room, and I also have a whiteboard calendar in my room, because I'm very forgetful sometimes, especially when I have a lot of things on my plate. So I was working, going to law school, trying to pay all my bills and stuff like that. So it's hard to keep up with things. So what I would do is, when you look at the syllabus, I will plan 1 month ahead, like the whole month. I'll write out all of the cases that we need to brief and the page number, and write how many cases needs to be briefed. This is helpful because when you look at your workload for that week, it's great to know whether you have 7 cases for this class, or 8 cases, or 15 cases, or more, hell. So you know how to prioritize your time. Mostly when I get out of class, whatever class that is, I'm already working on my outline while I'm in class. And then when I get out of class, maybe I'll touch on it again a little bit more, but I'll do the readings for the next week in that same setting. We had like these private rooms in my school, so it was really, really, really great to be able to just sit there and lock in and focus, you know? So I will go into those rooms, touch on the outline, because I already did it already, and then I will read the cases for next week. Read and brief the cases. You have to brief them. I'll talk about that probably in another video, but yes, you have to brief the cases. And then maybe I'll do some practice questions, or just write on the whiteboard the law, just so you can remember it. Because remembering is one thing, but the application is very, very important. Because yeah, you can know what it says, but you really have to understand what the law means. Sometimes it could be a little complicated depending on which class you're in. So I really recommend you getting a whiteboard. It is so important. It is so important, especially while we're in this COVID era and you don't have access to these things like whiteboards and stuff. It is really important to get one. I don't know what I would do. I write everything on my calendar. I write when I have to pay a bill, how much the bill is. I write my bills, I write my appointments, schedule everything. I schedule everything. Scheduling is so important for law school. You have to prioritize your time or you're gonna get left behind. Fun fact, it wasn't fun for me, but fun fact, I didn't schedule an assessment for my criminal law class and I missed out on 12% of my grade. So that shows how important that is. So yeah. Okay, so I got this book for multiple choice. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay, so I got this book, Strategies, Tactics for the Finn's Multiple State Method. They have every single subject that's going to be on a bar exam, because you know law school is really, you're just studying for the bar exam the whole 3 or 4 years that you're in law school for. You are basically studying for the bar. They're teaching you everything you need to know for the bar exam. Of course, everybody's not gonna study every single aspect of the law in their career path. You have to choose, but most of the time it's usually like it's 7: civil procedure, constitutional law, contracts, criminal law and criminal procedure, property, and torts. Yes. No, I'm good. So this book has a whole bunch of multiple choice questions, like a lot. I would recommend it if you completed a whole part of a class, if you will. So like, for example, if you're in torts and off the rip they don't start off with negligence, so I feel like you should look for questions that doesn't have to do with negligence, because that's like a whole nother conglomerate of things. Just look for things that, like battery and stuff like that, you know. Great book for that. Also, they have this thing called, these are supplemental readings, so they have something called like understanding contracts, understanding torts, understanding criminal law. They have a whole bunch of these things. These are so freaking good. Okay, the dust is on it. Okay. Listen, I haven't took contracts in a minute, so got it there. Okay, great. Yeah, so this is amazing for sure. This right here, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this all wood legal citation book is the Bible for advocacy, research and writing, really just your life, because you're going to be drafting memos and stuff like that. This is everything. Get one. You have to. I'm pretty sure it's required for your school, but this is everything. Love you. Everything. You see, it's all tabbed up just so I can know exactly where to go and what to do. And shout out to my classmates, because they definitely helped a lot. And then this is my planner. It's a little bit beat up. I just wanted to get it so I can show you an example of what I mean when I say plan out everything without showing you guys my life. But I'm just gonna give you a little list. So that's the regular calendar part. And then when I say plan out your readings, so it'll be like this. So week 11, see I have week 10 here, and then I plan my things a week ahead, so I'll be like for week 11. Malpractice, read the understanding, page 89 to 100. Brief cases, 6 cases to brief, 6 cases to brief for contracts. This was in November, but that's basically the whole message that I'm trying to get to you guys. Just plan everything out. It's so important, like so freaking important. I don't know what I would do without this. Just so you can know. Because man, if you fall behind in your classes, you just probably want to kill yourself or something. And I tell you, I already know everything. So yeah, that's basically what I mean. And like I said, you guys can't see it in the camera, but I have another whiteboard one, so I can just see it when I wake up in front of me. So yeah. Also, another studying tip I would say is talk to yourself. I literally talk to myself on a regular basis, so it's really not something new to me. But talk to yourself out loud. Like, what is battery? What is assault? What is vicarious liability? What is all of these things, you know? read it, read the law out loud, because you really have to memorize these things. Because listen, when that final comes, it will humble you real quick, child. It humbled me a couple of times. Like, it humbled me a couple of times. I will discuss grades in another video, but that shit humbles you real quick. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's hard. So basically what I want everybody to get out of this video is, you know, different methods and tactics, and basically my experience on how I handle law school. Well, my law school classes. There's so much more to it, and that's what I'll be explaining to you guys in different videos. I'm gonna be talking about relationships while in law school, because you really gotta tell people law school ain't no joke, and they really don't understand it until a month passed and they haven't heard from Shar. Where's Shar? What's going on? I'm gonna be talking to you guys about my poetry, fitting in fitness with law, because when I wasn't working out, I shut everything down my first semester, and I went through a lot of stuff. I'm not even gonna curse. I went through a lot of stuff around the second term of it all, and that's when I knew I had to incorporate my fitness again, because man, you need something, some type of escape, whether it be meditating. I try to meditate, whether it be meditating, reading, going to a therapist, exercising, talking to somebody. But a lot of people who are in law school tend to like shut down and literally lock in and only focus on themselves, and then when you actually do get a break, everything just starts coming down on you, and you're just like, oh shoot, I just cut everybody out. So I'll be discussing ways to keep a hold of relationships and stuff like that, and just the different type of relationships that's in law school. It's not only whether it be your girlfriend or your boyfriend, your mom, dad, brother, sister, best friends, friends, even networking. Super important in law school. Like, that's probably the most. I'll be talking to you guys about the real deal, my fuck ups. I'll have a couple of story times on my fuck ups. Like I said, shit gets real. The struggles of law school. Nobody really talks. Everybody wants to talk about the tips on surviving and how to get through it, but no one talks about what you actually went through while I was there. While I was in law school, I was depressed. I had crazy financial struggles, like ridiculous. I had a lot of relationships suffer because of law school, but it was all for the best, and you'll know how I got through it. And then quarantine. That's a whole nother thing. Law school while in quarantine. I hate it. I hate it. It's a gift and a curse. It has some pros and cons, and I'll be talking to you guys about that. So I hope this video was kind of informative. It was actually pretty much me rambling about things that I had to go through in law school. So we'll see. Okay, bye. Wait, I lied. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.